Can somebody please tell me what the is going on? Yes, yes, yes. You know what it is. You know what time of the week it is. You know what time it is in general. What's going on here? What's going on here? Where is... Let me do the sound check. Let me do in general. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so we're good in that regard. We're good in that regard. There's a couple things that we need to do to make this thing official. Have it. Okay, so where are we? Too many windows open. Too many windows open. We got to make this thing official. And to make it official, you know, we got to put the appropriate banner up. What is this? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now it looks more respectable. Now it tells you what is actually going on, and let's make it even more special. Let's make it even more special. Let's get that thing at the bottom floating across the screen. Where is it? There it is. Boom, boom, boom. And without much further ado, it's been a crazy week. Let's bring in the man of the hour. Let's bring in the reason why you are here. And there he is. None other than Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, mate? How you doing? It's been a crazy week.
Ralph, I gotta contradict you. It's not the man of the hour. It's the man of 2 hours.
Well, it's the man of 2 hours and 12 weeks. Do you realize, Rick, this is our 12th week anniversary, Rick?
I woke up this morning. I was excited. So that's all that counts. That you've definitely piqued my interest. You've got some very educated boxing enthusiasts that come on your show and ask great questions. You ask great questions. You let me expound. It's a great show. I enjoy it tremendously.
And we enjoy having you on, Rick. Absolutely, it's great to have a man of your experience in the game coming over and sharing it with us. So it's a mutual appreciation society over here, folks. And there's no shame in the game. Rick, it's been crazy this week. It's been crazy. The goings on.
Every couple hours, there's a new story. I mean, the situation with Oscar De La Hoya when they put my tweet up there on their interview, and they talked about what I had mentioned, and they read my tweet, and then Eddie Hearn and Lou DiBella and Amanda Serrano fighting over the Taylor fight, about the Taylor fight. Then Jarrell Miller fails the drug test. It's just been every day. There's, the Wilder and Fury are fighting for the third time, December 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Lomachenko and Teofimo looks like they're geared up for, I believe it's September 19th. I believe that's the date there too, the 19th again. And it's probably going to be in Vegas, probably at the Alliance, the new football stadium at the Las Vegas Raiders are going to play in, the brand new Alliance Stadium. Just a million things to talk about today. Dillian White crying like a baby still about the WBC situation. The autopsy, the reputed autopsy of about Deontay Wilder's brother Marcellus announcing he had an autopsy. Autopsies are for dead people, not people that are alive. I'd be a little confused on that one.
YouTube tried to spank me for that. I wrote the exact words, which were Marcellus's words, which we are officially live, so the notifications are going out now. I wrote the exact words that Marcellus said, and they gave me a warning. Because the autopsy suggests that he's dead, but I'm not the one who made the suggestion, for goodness sakes. I was quoting the man's words. What the hell?
Right, and autopsies when they're dead. Okay.
I know.
I don't understand what he's referring to when he says a thorough examination or something like that he may have had, and he may have a lot of medical testing, but it surely wasn't an autopsy. An autopsy is done by a coroner.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't done by a county coroner, and I'm sure it wasn't an autopsy. It might have been an inquiry. It might have been, deep in intensive testing, thorough testing, multiple tests, but it definitely was not an autopsy.
It wasn't even a biopsy. It wasn't even a biopsy because there was nothing being cut or, put in a culture dish or nothing like that. So I don't know them country boys. I don't know them country boys use the language rather loosely, perhaps we could say, if we're trying to be polite. It was loose.
Insinuating that Fury cheated. He didn't cheat. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's just there'd be so many people that have to be bought off. Somebody would have spilled the beans. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous. It's like a casino. The boxing commission's like a casino. Okay, they got the stick man. They got the box man. They got they got the table boss. They got the pit boss. Okay, and then he's got a boss, and then they got the eye in the sky looking at everybody, like the movie. Yeah,
and everybody's watching everybody.
Everybody's watching everybody, right? Okay, it's the same thing with the commission. You got the chief inspector, you got the inspectors, you got the executive director, you have the referee, you got the inspectors in the corner, and you got a doctor in each corner. And you got each guy looking at the hands being wrapped, signed off, and the guy stays with them. It just is just crazy. And everybody keeps bringing up the Louis Resto, Billy Collins situation. The only reason I mentioned Louis Resto was he won that fight, technically. What that was different back then. First of all, they didn't have the protocols, the rules, protocols, the procedures and protocols that they have now. That was 37 years ago. That was June 16, 1983, and it was undercard fight to Duran and Davey Moore. Okay, in Madison Square Garden. Another thing is they used horsehair back then.
That's right.
Okay? Now they use foam. And now that night they took out horsehair. They literally pulled it out of the palm area, and they kept pulling it out through the palm area. Okay, I get it. They cheated. Okay, people went to jail for that. People were banned from boxing. Panama Lewis went to prison and was banned from participating in a corner for life. He still can't get in the corner 37 years later. The man spent like 7 years in prison.
Ha.
Okay?
Didn't he work with Lennox Lewis? Panama Lewis, or was that Pep Carrera? Am I getting them mixed up?
Pepe Carrera, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Panama Lewis, no association with Lennox. Would not have a guy like Panama Lewis around. Trust me.
No way.
So going back to what we're talking about here, there was horsehair, and they pulled it out. They can't pull out anything now out of the glove. It's impossible. It's a big one singular piece of huge foam. Okay, number one. They can't put anything in there. There's nowhere to put it. Okay, I mean, it's just so crazy. This whole thing, everybody's watching, looking, inspecting. The gloves are held by the commission. The commission have to be in on this. I mean, this would be the biggest scandal in the history of sports if this was true. It's so ridiculous. You know what? You and I have talked about this on this show before. Okay, I've talked about it in other shows before. Okay, and I've been asked about it, privately by intelligent people, writers. It didn't happen. People got to stop with this craziness. The world is not a conspiracy. I promise. Okay, bad enough things happen by accident. Okay, not by intent. There was nobody did anything wrong here. Okay, he wasn't hit. This Marcellus is saying, by the way, this Marcellus is 5-2 as a pro, and he's been stopped twice, so he knows what it's like to get knocked out.
We know all about Marcellus over here. I'll cover those videos, Rick. Don't worry. I'll put them in down below in the permanent comment section. Don't worry. Carry on, Rick.
Deontay was no better. He just had more protection because he was an Olympian. He was an Olympian. He just had more protection. So, and what I'm trying to say is, we've wasted a lot of time on this. This is all about the LDBCers, the Haymanites. It didn't happen. It's bad enough in their mind that an Al Heyman fighter lost, and it's bad enough a black man lost to a white man. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's about.
If this was Ali Frazier, nobody'd say anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a joke. It really is. It's just so crazy and far. And like I said, everybody relates to 37 years ago, an isolated incident. And they made so many rule changes and procedures, protocols. They stopped using horsehair. I mean, the changes are astronomical. I just want to compare something for you, Raph. Okay, do you play basketball at all?
No, I used to back in the day.
Okay, well, you remember the Chuck Taylor and the Converse sneakers and all that.
I got some.
Look at the basketball shoes today that they use, and look at the ones they used 37 years ago, and the difference.
No comparison.
Well, the same thing with the boxing gloves. No comparison. Have you seen a glove rip in years? Remember they used to rip all the time?
They used to rip. Not anymore.
They don't rip. Okay? Believe you me. Okay? There's no question. This is one thing nobody talks about. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay? And I feel it's been the cause of possibly some injuries, not because I'm scientific, just because I have a hunch on this from experience. Okay? Sweat runs out of a man's hand. It's all wrapped up. It runs down his arm. The tape and the gauze get wet from the sweat. Okay, and they're accidentally hardening and making the inside of the glove where the tape is and gauze much heavier. Okay, I've always felt that that's a possible cause of potential permanent damage to a fighter. I'm not saying it happens all the time when it does happen, but that could be part of the reason why fighters are suffering head injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, I've always believed that. Okay, I think a little bit out of the box. I may be wrong. Okay, but
you may be right. You may be right.
I may be right. Correct. Correct, because I've actually put tape and gauze on my hands and sweated, went into a sweat box, a steam room, and the sweat literally came down my arm and loaded up the tape and the gauze and made it wet and hard. So there you go. I've tried it myself.
Yeah, and now we're talking about the tape. We've had some conspiracy theorists over here, Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, and are you familiar? You may not know him. You probably won't know him. He's not a boxer. He's supposed to be a tape man. Are you familiar with the name of Jorge Capitillo?
Of course. Trainer, cut man. Oh, yeah. No, okay. I know. Father and son. There's two of them, junior and senior. But they don't call each other junior and senior. But they are junior and senior. There's two of them, older and younger.
Okay, so we've had some conspiracy theorists over here, Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, and one theory that was put forth is that Jorge, I don't know if it's senior or junior, but Jorge Capitillo, apparently he sells gauzes that when they get wet, they toughen like concrete.
Well, it happens to all of them. It happens to every single gauze. When it gets wet, they harden. It's not him selling a particular hand wrap that hardens. They all do. Right. I don't care who's selling it. I don't care what you're paying for it. They harden. Okay, it's a fact. They don't harden like hard. They absorb all the sweat and fluid, and it stays on it, and it makes it harder automatically. It's not like a chemical reconstruction of the wrap. So let me tell you something, Raph. I've been around 29 years in boxing full time. I've been I was a huge boxing enthusiast, a huge fan before I got in the business. That's how you get in the business. In other words, you don't dislike boxing and get in. You got to pay attention to it. Well,
Yeah.
I paid attention to all those years. Believe me, I know my business. I gave you that line one time. I'm gonna use it again. You know what the hooker said to her customer? Stop pulling out my ears. I know my business, and nobody's pulling the wool over my eyes. I get it.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's gone haywire. It's got so serious now, Rick. It's got so serious now that the El Capitan of the WBC has had to come out and make an official statement on Glovegate. The thing just won't go away, Rick. It won't go away.
It doesn't exist. It only exists in LDBCers' minds and Hamanites' minds and the Agenda crew, which are the three groups of people that are intertwined, that are all the Hamanites and, a lot of racist people there. And it's just the way it is. They all claim I don't know anything about boxing. I'm a phony and a fraud and everything else. I've been 2 Hall of Fames. I'm an elector at the big one at Canastota. I'm not in yet, but pretty much I'm on my way. Bunch of years from now, but I don't know what more I could do to do. I mean, I've been in the business. A long time and got great credentials. All the power brokers know me on a first name basis, but I'm a fraud and a phony. I don't know nothing about boxing. It's great. Even Roger Mayweather told Stevie Forbes and a bunch of other fighters, but Stevie Forbes in particular, former world champ, Rick Glaser, he knows boxing. So there you go. And if Roger didn't think anybody knew boxing, but the Mayweather family. So that's a real compliment coming from a guy who threw compliments around like manhole covers.
You know what they say about opinions, Rick? Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one. It's as simple as that. People's opinions don't mean diddly squat necessarily. So you can't really watch. People can say anything. Somebody told me the other day that Raphie, nobody knows you. But yet behind the scenes, I'm talking to some people who are. I'm talking to world champions. I'm talking to ex-world champions. I'm talking to promoters. I'm talking to everybody. So
I would say that about you, Raph, because your show's really catching on. People are talking about it. More people are watching every week.
Yeah.
And I wish I could just say it was my show they're watching every week, not your other one.
Well, it's so the point I was trying to illustrate was that people can say absolutely anything and it makes no sense. The guy who was telling it to me, I just had to laugh. I mean, some things are just laughable. Say whatever you want to say. We know what opinions are. Okay, so let's get on with the show. I don't know which element we're going to touch on next. Okay, hello.
Let's go to the Oscar De La Hoya Ryan Garcia situation.
Let's do that.
So they posted my tweet up on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And they proceeded to talk about it. I'm totally agreeing with Oscar De La Hoya. Garcia is out of line. He's not taking into consideration the COVID testing. He's not taking all the costs with the new procedures and protocols and the additional hotel rooms. Everybody needs their own hotel room now when you go for a fight. You can't stay in each other's room anymore. Everybody's got to eat separately from the rest of the people in the hotel or the casino. And it just changed. Now there's no crowds, there's no sponsors, there's no site fees, there's nothing. Ryan Garcia and his attorney yelling out, "Well, we sell 10,000 tickets." Not now, you don't. Okay, nobody does. And that's why he feels he deserves more money. Well, there's no people. When the people come back, then we give you more money. That's not good enough, Ryan Garcia. Now he's sitting making zero. The man could have made 250, 300,000. He wanted 500. So now he makes zero. It's a genius business move. Raph, here's a great negotiation. Here's $250,000 or zero. Take your pick. I want zero. That's what he said.
Listen,
very, very bad business move.
Listen, he's not in the position. He's not in the position. He's not Mayweather. He's not Mayweather. He's not Mayweather.
Mayweather. He's comparing himself to Devin Haney, Javante Davis, Teofimo Lopez, which are young guys that are making $1 million a fight because they hold their world title belts. He's not at that level yet. He's still a prospect, a world contending prospect. He's no world champ. He don't have no belt. He's out of line. There's nothing that anybody's going to say to me to change my mind on that. I know numbers. I'm in the business. I'm not in the sport. I'm in the business. I'm sorry. I'm in the sport and the business. I know the numbers, and he's completely. I'm unequivocally with Oscar De La Hoya on this. And Oscar and I don't agree on a lot, by the way. This is one time we definitely agree.
100%. 100%. We're talking about little Garcia there. What's his first name? Little Garcia. What's his name?
Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia.
Ryan. We're talking about Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is sitting it out. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take the 200K he's been offered, which apparently exceeds his minimum.
I think they offered him like 250 or 300 even just to close it and get it behind him because Oscar wanted to create a big thing around July 4th with it being an American holiday, a new boxing holiday, and kick it off with Ryan Garcia. I mean, it was crazy that the kid said no. I mean, first of all, forget the money, for instance. Okay, you slow down your momentum. Okay, number one, you don't get another win. You don't get more exposure. And here's the biggest thing. You got millions of Americans unemployed right now, okay, living off government supplements because of the COVID, the pandemic shutdown and the economy. And this guy's turning down 250 or 300,000. He looks like an ingrate. There's no sympathy for this guy unless they know him on a first name basis. Okay, in other words, they actually know him, and he knows them back on a first name basis. There's no sympathy in the boxing business, and there's no sympathy from diehard boxing fans. No way. Ryan Garcia fans, there might be some sympathy if they know him, and they know Ryan and the person knows each other on a first name basis. That part I'm not disputing, but it makes no sense what he did. He's getting bad advice, okay, and he's got to stop getting bad advice.
Yeah,
horrible advice. Horrible advice.
Yeah, it's terrible.
This is as bad as Tommy Morrison fight Michael Bent when he was on his way to fight Lennox Lewis for $7.5 million. Same thing. Same thing.
I remember that he lost. Bent became the champion. Hold on.
First round knockout.
Yeah. Bent. When did Bent fight that guy from Norwich? What's his name? Herbie Hyde.
He fought him right after that.
Oh. So he wasn't a world champion when he fought Herbie Hyde. Okay, that's cool. Okay. So Ryan
No. Bent was the world champ. He lost his title to Herbie Hyde. That's how Herbie Hyde won the title.
Oh, that's it. That's how Herbie Hyde won the title. Yeah. So
Herbie Hyde was promoted by Barry Hearn.
Yes. Matchroom. Matchroom. That's right. Herbie Hyde from Norwich. He also Herbie Hyde also fought Riddick Bowe, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's how Herbie Hyde lost the title.
Yeah,
I was there. That was January of '95. I know it was in '95. I think it was in January. And then Bowe fought Jorge Luis Gonzalez in his first offense for the title, and he knocked out Gonzalez. Yes. So that's where we ended up. But I'm just I was at the fight with Herbie Hyde and Bowe. I actually supplied the sparring partners for Riddick Bowe for the fight.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's a fascinating sequence of events. Morrison makes a mistake, takes on Michael Bent, screws up. Michael Bent becomes champion, goes on, comes to Norwich, comes to the UK to fight Herbie Hyde, loses the championship. I think he got knocked out, if I'm not mistaken. He got knocked out. I remember that. And then Herbie Hyde goes over to the US under Barry Hearn Sr., under Hearn Sr.'s tutelage guidance, and then loses to Riddick Bowe. Hey, Rick, those were the days. Those were the days. Look at that. Bang, bang, one after the other, after the other, after the other.
Yeah, and then right after that, it was like things like changed a lot. Riddick Bowe only fought one more year after that. I think '96 was his last year. So Riddick Bowe's been retired for a long time now. People don't remember. People don't forget. They think he fought up to about 10, 15 years ago. He's been retired since like '96.
He's been retired a long time. Get your questions in, folks. I know some people have already get questions. Keep them coming in. Well, we will endeavor to get to them. So get your questions in, folks. Okay. So what we're saying, we got Leighton Evelyn, we got Lisa Bayliss, we got the Vizzo, we got the JD Boxing, Mr. Spooks, Monique Thompson, Roger Lee, and many, many more up in the building right about now. We got Marla. We got the Philip Khan Roberts. Okay, so lots of people in the chat. Make sure everybody, if you enjoy,
hold it. No Red Glove Militant.
Red Glove Militant. I think Red Glove Militant was on. I think was it last week or the week before? A couple of weeks before. He's got a lot going on. A lot of family issues. He went to two funerals in 1 week a few weeks ago. So I think Red Glove Militant has got his hands full right about now. And sometimes you just got to step away and take care of personal business.
Raph, real quick. We're doing this from my home here on my end, and my wife saw me before, right before I went on the show. She saw I had just taken a shower and I looked good. She says, "Where's your wedding ring?" I said, "We're in the house." She goes, "Listen, wear it. There might be a good woman that wants you on that thing, and you gotta ward her off with that ring."
There's a couple of marvelous ladies. I've never seen them, so I can't testify as to their aesthetic. I can't testify as to the aesthetic aspects of them, but I know there's at least a couple lovely ladies, and Rick is frozen. Rick's wife has turned him into a pillar of salt. Yeah, for sure. Smash that like button. We're gonna wait for Rick to get back. Keep your questions coming. We're gonna get to as many as is humanly possible. But as you know, this week has been crazy when it comes to news. Hold on, we're only at Wednesday. When did the news start flooding in? The news started flooding in early at the end of the week, and it has not stopped coming. Got lots and lots of news for y'all. Okay, and while we wait for Rick, Ruben Guerrero has joined us up in the building. Yeah, smash that like button, peeps. Smash that like. What was that? Philip Carl Roberts says Herbie Hyde versus Bowe was a mismatch, a real heavyweight against a bloated cruiserweight. Yeah, well, that was Herbie Hyde for you. That was Herbie Hyde. Hold on, has Rick got the link? I'm sure he knows what the link is. Let me just put it in there again. Boom, boom, and boom. Yeah, well, that was Herbie Hyde. He was really a cruiserweight. That was his build. That was his design. But credit to him, he stepped up to heavyweight and became world champ. He beat Herbie Hyde, who beat Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison had he beat Michael Bent, who beat Tommy Morrison. Michael Bent, the English guy, fighting over there in the US, and beat Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison was in line for what, 7 million or 10 million to fight Lennox Lewis. Oh, who's this? Who's this here? Oh, we've had an interesting comment. Ned Gustavo. Shame we can't see it up here. Shame I can't highlight it. It's over on the YouTube section. Where is it? Yo, Ned, type what you typed in again. Ned. Who did hide? Who did what? Oh yeah, I see that. Okay, so Rick rejoins us, and the question I've just been asked is by James Jameson: Who did Herbie Hyde fight in the car park? Well, that was Michael Bent. That was Michael Bent. Michael Bent had and Herbie Hyde had a lovely scrap. It was one of the better scraps. It was an actual physical scrap, punches, wrestling. It was one of the first MMA fights, Rick Glaser.
Yeah. That was 94. That was how long ago that was. 26 years ago.
And I watched that. On World of Sport. I watched that on World of Sport, or was it Grandstand? World of Sport was the independent television channel. Grandstand was the BBC. Herbie Hyde versus Michael Bent in the car park. That was funny as hell. Rick Glaser. Oh, sorry. I just have to address somebody. Where is he? Here he is. Raph, why are you ducking BFTB, you liar? Well, you fool, Ned Gustavson, you imbecile. You're an imbecile and a fool. If you type in BFTB and Raphael Dawkins, you will see there are a number of our encounters on this very channel. So who's FTB? Yeah, he's one of the leading crazies over there at the LDBC. And Ned Gustavo is suggesting I've ducked him. I've gone over to his channel. I've debated him on his platform. And I've recorded our encounters, most of them, right here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. So if anybody wants to see those highly hilarious videos, because it was just hilarious to me, I turned it into a comedy fest. I suggest.
Is that the guy, the barber guy? Is that the barber shop guy?
No. He's crazier. He's crazier than him. He's crazier. I suggest you erase his name from your memory, because if you go over there, you might get an aneurysm, and we don't want that. So I suggest you stay as far away from that guy as possible. But I went over there and I made it comedy hour. Whooped him, beat him on his own channel. Beat his ass, put him off money, spanked him, and then sent him to his room. So please do your research, Ned Gustavo. As a matter of fact, where is Ned? Where's Ned? Anyway, Ned, do your research. But carrying on, back to Rick. Rick has rejoined us. Where are we now? What topic we gonna go on to? Yeah,
Ralph, I just want to mention something. I was always here. You couldn't hear me or see me. I saw you. I saw myself on the screen, and I was listening, and you kept saying I wasn't there, but I was. So I switched back and then came back on again.
That's the thing to do, because you were frozen. You were frozen on the screen. You were like,
okay. So now,
yeah.
Let's go to the Jarrell Miller situation.
Let's go to Jarrell Miller.
Now, in the dictionary, okay, I haven't looked since the other day. I haven't looked, but when it says moron, it says C. Jarrell Miller right next to it.
Yeah. Well, it does. I mean, two times.
No, not two times.
Yeah.
Fourth time.
Yeah.
Kickboxing. One time earlier in his boxing career, there was some doubt, and they didn't suspend him. They didn't do anything. Then he got caught last year, and now this is the fourth time. This guy's an anabolic animal.
Anabolic chicken. The anabolic chicken. I don't know if anybody saw my post. The other day. I posted a rooster with his chest. Stuck way out, and that's what Miller represents to me. At least. Well, 2 times back to back. We're talking 2 times back to back, Rick. 2 times back to back.
Here's why he's done. Okay. They just begged the commission to get him approved. He knew it. And they went out on a limb. The head of the commission, the chairman, is a doctor. The executive director of the commission, he is a retired FBI agent. Okay, Now, are you familiar with the FBI is in America? Are you familiar with that, Raphie?
FBI, CIA, ATM, whatever you call them. I know all of it. We watch the films, Rick. We watch the films.
Right.
We watch all
Okay.
your films.
This guy,
Rick, I'm even familiar with Waco. How about that? How about that?
Correct. There you go. So, what I'm saying to you is right now is that he went out on a limb, got special permission to fight. They granted him. Then they licensed him. And then he goes out and does this. It's no good. It's good. The guy, first of all, the guy's got to be the most self-centered, dumb bastard in the world. Okay? For you can name somebody else in that boxing ring with regular gloves on. Okay? Just ask Deontay Wilder's brother, Marcellus. And you got a guy now who's got performance-enhancing drugs. Now, the argument was now, there are no Jarrell Miller fans, but the certain people that are sticking up for him are saying, well, they weren't steroids, so it wouldn't help his strength. That's not true. It's a stamina building drug that'll help you throw more punches and faster. And as the other guy gets tired, you're still going along, motoring along at the same speed. And you know what? You know, that is dangerous. Okay,
it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's very
yes, that FBI. Yes, we're going to address that FBI. Yes, that FBI.
I thought he was CIA. You CIA. J. Edgar Hoover was CIA.
He was FBI.
Oh,
that's why the mafia. That's why he kept telling America there was no mafia, because they had pictures out of him.
No blackmailing him.
They had pictures of him in very compromising situations.
Yeah, He was compromised by the mafia and Meyer Lansky. So the FBI, the leader of the FBI, people, let this sink in. The leader of the Federal Bureau of Investigations was being blackmailed by the mafia. Unbelievable. Absolutely bloody unbelievable. Okay.
The Jarrell Miller situation, embarrassing for him, embarrassing for everybody that backed him and helped him get through the testing, to get through the licensing hearing. Just everybody. Embarrassing for boxing. You know, no good.
Yeah, embarrassing for boxing, but more so embarrassing for his damn self. I mean, to be honest, Rick, how would you feel? I would have to go for a long walk in the countryside for like about a few weeks if I had lost out on 9 million for the first fight, because that's at least 6-7 million for the fight itself, and then the bonuses.
He was supposed to get 6 million, but that's beside the point.
No. 6 million. Let's work with the numbers. 6 million. Supposed to get 6 million. Sure. Potentially get more from Sky Sports for bonuses. Let's take that to. Okay. Let's keep it as a flat 6. But hear me out. After the flat 6, he was going to get 2 more fights if he lost. 2 more fights with the zone. That was contractual. Each fight was going to be 1.5 million. So that's 6 million plus 3 million. So he lost a minimum of $9 million. Walked away from $9 million because he had all that shizzle up in his veins. Now, if I lost out on $9 million, Rick, I would have to go for a long walk in the woods, and it might take me some time to come back, because I'd really have to sit down somewhere and reflect on where I went wrong. And yet, this guy comes back, and you get a second chance, or a third chance, fourth chance, whatever it is, and he comes back and he does the same damn thing again. Rick, you're gonna have to talk for a second. I've seen a fly. I can't let it get in my drink. I'm gonna have to get a cover for it. I'll be back in a second.
It's crazy. I mean, it defies reasonable common sense. It defies any lack of intelligence, and it's so selfish. Okay, and it's so disrespectful to the sport and the competitors. And anybody who bought a ticket to watch this guy fight, or paid to watch them on the zone, this is an embarrassment. Okay, I always laughed about the fact that Evander Holyfield was called the real deal when the guy was pumped up on steroids. So how could he be the real deal if he was pumped up on steroids? I'm still trying to figure that one out many years later. So listen, James got a great question. What happened with Marcelo's failed test? He failed.
Yeah,
that's what happened with failed test.
It was a failed test. They basically ultimately never. They wouldn't say what it was. They wouldn't say what it was for. I did my research. I did videos on the topic, and the Athletic Commission refused. They declined to say what was the drug that he failed for. We speculate that it was recreational. It's implied that it was recreational, but they simply refused or declined to specify what kind of drug it was. So that's what happened. That's what happened with that. It was 6 months ban.
Yeah, you know what? He wasn't going anywhere anyway. He couldn't fight a lick. So he's exactly where he's supposed to be, a cheerleader for his brother. The brother supposedly with brain damage, had the autopsy. You know, that brother that had an autopsy, but he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who's standing there on 2 feet that gets an autopsy. I've ever heard of getting an autopsy. That's a first.
That's a first. That's a first for the Wilders. The Wilders introducing new things into the game. And as we move on, I know there's been quite a few questions in here that, if you're asking a question during an answer, then if you keep it there roundabouts the topic matter, then I can insert that question during that topic. But if it's a totally different topic, then obviously I'll have to come back to it. Okay, so let's look at what's going on in the chat. I always said that Miller had been on the Peds. Yeah, so the chances are that Miller's always been. Let's talk about this aspect then. It seems to me that people are talking about volume control. My bad. Okay, so it seems to me that people are talking about an addiction. Maybe Miller is addicted, but I don't think it's about addiction. I think it's about dependency. And the two things are different. When you're addicted to something, you just have to have it. Dependency.
I've always said there's a lot of fear in that man. And I think that helps him get over the fear and gives him confidence to get in there and do the best he can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's dependency. It's not about addiction. It's not a physical addiction. It's a mental addiction, and that's called dependency. He don't feel that he can get in there and represent himself to the fullest without artificial aids, shall we say. And so I think that's the reason. Why he does what he does. It was only one compound this time. It was GW1516, and otherwise called Endurable, and that's what it does. It's used for endurance, so that's why you could see such a big, overweight fellow putting out 60 punches around, putting out the output that you'd expect from a lightweight, Rick.
Yeah, quite a few. My friend called me up. He's a boxing fan, and he says, "This Jarrell Miller. He sounds like what did he say? A human ped warehouse."
Ha.
So that was one. I've gotten a lot of calls from a lot of people thought that what an idiot moron. This guy's been called every day of the book. Dummy, big dummy instead of big baby. Big Parma. That was a good one. Big Parma. Human pharmacy. Just a whole bunch of great names, and he deserves it. Let me tell you, I have no sympathy for this guy whatsoever. Okay, none at all. Zero.
He climbed the boxing ladder and made dollars against lesser opponents where testing was minimal. There is no way a fat idiot like him could sustain that sort of pressure without PEDs.
That's well said. Very well said. Thank you.
That's well put. And apparently,
Jay Prince. Yeah, Jay Prince is his manager. So that's correct.
Apparently, Jay Prince gave him an advance. I don't know if Top Rank gave him advance, but it said that Jay Prince gave him an advance, and he ain't gonna get a return on that advance for a while. What do you know about James Prince in boxing? James Prince is in boxing now. What do you know about? Hold on, James Prince is in boxing for a while because he was involved with
Mayweather. Yeah.
And he's involved with
I barely know him. I say hello to him. His guys, front guys, Antonio Leonard. I say hello to him.
Yeah.
They say hello to me. That's it. We just keep it simple and we keep it moving.
Keep it simple, keep it moving. That's Jay Prince. He was involved with SOG as well, wasn't he not? Was he not SOG?
He was the manager. Yeah.
He was the manager. So he's in the music industry and in the sports and entertainment. All the Marcelo stuff vanishes from the internet. His KOs aren't nowhere to be seen. Yeah, they were getting rid of his KOs for a while, but his last KO, that's there for all to see. That's there for all to see. Harold Scronius.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So what we got here? I'm looking for a question from the chat. He's also Shakur's manager. Damn. He's deep.
Yeah.
He's deep in the boxing. Okay, I know I missed some questions, so I'm going to scroll back. And pick out a couple of questions from the chat. Okay. So Nigel Dennis. Never seen Nigel Dennis before. Said R.E. Fury Wilder. It's not because a white guy beat a black guy. The LDBC would be saying the same rubbish if Joshua beat Wilder. It's a Wilder Heyman cult thing. Would they be saying?
Really, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But a bunch of those guys are very, very, very racist.
Yes.
I've listened to them. I've been on talk shows that they've been on, and they're complete racists.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
You know, one of them found out he was Jew. Man, he's a Jew. You know, come on, please. They got to stop. You know, I feel I'm blessed to be Jewish. So
yeah, 100%. And to the next from JJ. Hey, Raph and Rick, great show, much appreciated. How do you see Jeff Horn versus Tim Tszyu? How do you see that fight going down? How do you see it going?
It's an excellent fight. I give a slight edge to Tim Tszyu on the sense that he's very strong. He's younger. He's in great shape. And he is he's on the going up, where maybe Jeff Horn's already peaked and he's on the way down. So I give Tszyu a slight edge. But, you know, Horn's got a lot of experience. Horn can bang. And it's going to be a great fight. For all Australia to see, it's going to be sensational. No question about it.
Excellente. And we've got another question here from Mr. Spooks. Again, what does Rick think of Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia? It's been ordered by the WBC. Has it been ordered?
Luke, yeah, today it was. Luke Campbell is not. He's not beating Ryan Garcia, even if it's in England. Ryan Garcia is too tall, too fast, too powerful, too young, strong as death. And I just don't see Luke. Luke Campbell's a good fighter, but he's not beating somebody like that. He didn't beat Lomachenko. He's not beating these kind of guys. No way, no. Not doing it. I would have had a different career path for Campbell. I would have made him a local a UK attraction, left him over there, and eventually fight for the title. But keep the whole thing going and going and going. And Eddie just keeps throwing the guy in. I don't, maybe Eddie didn't do his job and developing him into an attraction. I don't know, but I would have had a different game plan for him for sure.
Okay, so and the questions are coming thick and fast. Well, actually, I'm going back in time for the questions that were missed. Rick, Can Tyson Fury sue Wilder team for defamation of character for what they are saying?
You know, that's an interesting point. But here's the problem. It's never come out of Wilder himself's mouth. It's never come out of Shelley Finkel's mouth. It's never come out of Al Heyman's mouth. Al Heyman doesn't talk at all to people. It's never come out of Jay Deez's mouth. It's never come out of Mark Freeland's mouth. It's always come out from the brother, from the LDBCers. It's come out from all the crazy sources. So no, you can't. I mean, you can sue, but they throw it right out of court immediately. You can always sue, but you get thrown out of court right away, immediately.
Why would he get thrown out of court?
Because Wilder's never said anything. The managers never said anything. The trainers never said anything. The other managers never said anything. The advisors never say anything. It's always all these LDBC people and all these crazy people. The brother's not Wilder. He's not on the team. Doesn't have an official. Just because he's his brother doesn't have an official position with the team. He's not recognized as a trainer. He's not the manager. He's a nothing. He's a puke. So no, they can't. You know, they can sue, but they'll get thrown out of court immediately.
Yes.
It was a rich match, a real heavyweight. Yeah, we already went through that question. Yes, yeah. It's funny. He wasn't a bloated cruiserweight. He was just a very small heavyweight. There was no fat on Herbie Hite. He was just a very small heavyweight.
Yes.
What's the next question, Raph?
Yes. Let's get to the next. On to the next. We keep on moving up, trying to get to the questions that we missed, and I'll go back down to the bottom. of the chat. Okay, so Fortuna fighting Linares.
Yeah, that's a great fight. Anything can happen in that fight. I give a slight edge to Fortuna because he's a better pure puncher and he's a little more durable. Linares isn't that durable. His chin's not that good. He cuts easy and he gets easily discouraged. But I like Fortuna just a little. But it's a toss-up fight in reality. It's an excellent. It's a fight that everybody should want to watch.
Absolutely, 100%. You know it's going to be action-packed, that's for sure. Okay. Lisa Bailey says, what happened to Fortuna? What something happened to Fortuna?
Nothing happened to him. He's fighting Linares.
He's fighting Linares, Lisa. He's that's up next. When is that fight scheduled for? Do we know? Has a date been set or?
I don't think a date's been set yet.
Okay.
Oscar's trying to see if there's going to be people allowed or, full crowd, half crowd, quarter crowd, and he's trying to hold off as long as possible before he comes up with a date,
Yeah. So Bray says WBC just announced they are mandating Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell for the interim title. I don't think Oscar will allow that fight to happen. Why would Oscar not allow that fight to happen?
Because of the fact that he's in dispute right now with Ryan Garcia until Ryan Garcia comes to the table and comes to his senses. Why would Oscar go pay him and then have a disgruntled fighter with an interim belt now? He's not going to do that. He's got to come to the table clean and start over again. Yeah. He's got to come to the table clean. They got to be. Leighton Evelyn coming through. I'm going to be scrolling back down Leighton Evelyn, so I'm going to be highlighting all of those. We're just taking care of the questions that I missed on the way. So people, keep your questions coming thick and fast. Another good one here by Leighton Evelyn. Rick, do you think Top Rank will cancel Big Baby Miller's contract? No, because they owe because if they won't, they probably won't. I'll tell you why. Not because they care, but because he owes James Prince. He owes James Prince money, and James Prince brings all his fighters to Top Rank. So if he put him out on a free agency, James Prince would lose control of the situation. Okay, and he can go sign with like Heyman, and then look to put Jay Prince out and everything else. So I don't think that's going to happen. If he does, he does. But I don't. I have a stinking suspicion they're not going to release him only to protect Jay Prince. If somebody pays him back, maybe they'll release him. You know what I mean? I think James Prince is going to call that shot more than Top Rank. I don't mean that to say anything negative about Top Rank, because I'm not. But he manages Shakur Stevenson, and he's very friendly with Bob and Aram, and he's friends with all the guys at Top Rank, and I just don't see that happening. I think that this man needs to be paid back.
Mm-hmm. How does he get paid back? By Miller coming back to fight in 2 years' time.
Until he's able to fight, maybe a year or two, 2 years, and then the Top Rank will maybe or somebody else comes along and buys him out. Who knows? But I think they're going to look to protect Jay Prince's advance to him.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And Roger Lee says, Rick, why does Bob Arum want the broadcasting rights for Tszyu v. Horn in the U.S. if he's not their promoter?
Because Bob has 36 dates a year, okay, number one, okay, and he's got 36 dates in America and 30 foreign dates. So he has those dates to dwell out to foreign promoters, and that's a good quality fight that means a lot. There'll be 50,000 people thereabouts. So it's a meaningful fight over there. He'll make it to be a meaningful fight over here. And I'm sure he has options on the winner. He's got something up his sleeve. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bob Arum is the sharpest man that's ever been associated with professional boxing as far as the big promoters go. I mean, Mickey Duff was a manager type guy, more or less, and he was sharp. The late Mickey Duff from Your Great Country.
Oh yeah.
In England, but Bob's as sharp as anybody. I mean, he's really, really knows his shit.
100%. 100%. Leighton's, we've answered that one from Leighton previously, but much thanks, Leighton. Much thanks for putting putting some money in the tin. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, and what's going on here? Marla says, Springbok rugby player just got an 8-year ban as a repeat offender for ped use. Boxing should be this tough with cheats. What do you say? What do you say, Rick? 8 years.
I don't know how long they can legally ban him, because realistically, you can't suspend a guy more than his license is. So it's going to be pretty hard to do that. You can go to court because he's not licensed anymore. Once the license expires, they'll go to court. But everybody can blackball. I think that's important. I think a blackball is more or less the situation.
Yeah.
I think he'll get blackballed.
Yeah, absolutely. And James says, any thoughts on Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce? That's a regular question. We get asked.
Yeah, that's October 24th. I love Daniel Dubois. I think he takes his game to the next level. He performed very well so far. He's big, strong guy. The other guy's big and strong. They're both good. Joyce is a little slower. I just think that one's going up and one's reached his plateau. And I think that's why they're putting Joyce in now, because he's reached his plateau. He's had 1 million amateur fights and he was an Olympian where the other guy wasn't. So I think, and one's 33 and one's 22, and there's ships crossing in the night here. Dubois going up, and I believe the other guy going down, from what I could see. Listen, if Joyce hit him over the head and won, it wouldn't shock me. I'd be greatly disappointed, because I'm very high on Daniel Dubois.
And surprise, got a little surprise for you, Rick. Got a nice little surprise for you. Where are we? Yes. The red glove.
Man.
He's up in the area.
I was asking about you. Where are you?
Yeah, we was just asking about you. We just mentioned your red glove. Good to see you've come to the place to be. on a Wednesday night on the interwebs is if anybody is anywhere else, how dare you? How dare you?
My man in Tampa.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, as we move on, Big Boys Boxing is up in the building and says, can Campbell beat Haney?
No. No prayer.
No.
No prayer. Zero.
Okay, so Kuzmin v. Bacoli. Who you got, Rick?
What fight?
Kuzmin versus Bacoli.
They're both B fighters. I don't know. Bacoli can punch. Bacoli can punch, and the other guy takes a pretty good shot. But Kuzman's lazy, so I like the African.
Yeah. The African who is currently the African Scotsman, lives in Scotland now. So is the African Scotsman in Bacoli. When did I last see Kuzman? Did I last see Kuzman getting beat by who's that short guy? His dad used to be a boxer as well.
Mike Hunter.
Michael Hunter.
Yeah, but that's a different style than Kuzman. Michael Hunter, slick, fast, moves around, light on his feet, great jab, different style. Kuzman's like a slow potting guy. It's totally different. He'll have a much better shot of beating. Bacoli have a much shot of beating Kuzman. I'm sorry. Kuzman will have a much better shot of beating Bacoli each for that reason.
Yeah.
Better fight. They're more in front of you, both guys.
Both guys are both in front of you. What else we got next? Hit that like button. It's free. Absolutely. Leighton Evelyn says Bacoli all day. I think I'll edge towards Bacoli.
The guy's lazy. Kuzman's a lazy guy.
Yeah.
Kuzman's a lazy guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the problem with Kuzman. And Lisa.
He fights uninspired. That's that ain't beating Bacoli.
Not beating Bacoli, and much appreciation goes out to Lisa Bayliss for supporting the channel. Much appreciation. Thank you. That's the second time Lisa Bayliss has extended her generosity. Well, not the second time, because every time you come here, that's extending generosity. Every time you smash the like button, it's extending generosity. Every time you hit the subscribe button, it's supporting the channel. So that's much appreciated. Okay. Wizard Sleeve up in the building and says Wilder won't make it past the first presser. He's finished. Damn. Not gonna make it past the first pressure. Well, listen, what's in it for what is in the trilogy fight for Deontay Wilder? I'll tell you what. Millions. That's what's in it for Wilder. Whether he's win, lose, or draw. They're gonna make some long money off that, Rick Glaser. They're gonna make some long money off that.
Yeah, I mean, it's called prize fighting for a reason, and the prize is money, and he's gonna try to reclaim his title, and he's not going to, and he'll be knocked out 2 fights in a row. He'll have a diminished value. He might retire. He should have enough money to retire. He's made a lot of money for 5 years. And the last couple of years, last 2.5 years, he's made real good money. So I could see him retiring if he gets stopped again, especially if he gets left on the canvas. And that's highly possible this time, where he quits on his stool. I don't see a good ending for Deontay Wilder as far in this fight. Just can't see it. And if he fights on after that, I surely don't see a good ending at all.
No, I don't see a good ending. I think this is purely for money.
Especially after that autopsy.
If Deontay Wilder can come back and win this fight after his autopsy, I will be extremely impressed. In fact, that might be a first in boxing or in any sport for that matter. A man comes back from an autopsy and becomes a world champion. He'll be the first world champion who has successfully navigated an autopsy. Let's put it that way. have you commented on the Lomachenko versus Lopez fight? No, not yet. I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
We just mentioned that's going to happen more than likely on September 19th. I think it's a great fight. What happens in the fight? I keep getting asked. Well, this is what this fight is. This fight is either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be Lomachenko playing Joe Calzaghe and Teofimo playing Jeff Lacey, or it's going to be Teofimo playing Mike Tyson and Lomachenko playing Trevor Berbick. So it's one of those two endings right there. I believe it's good. Who knows? I just don't know. It's going to be a great fight, but no question about it.
Great fight, no question about it. What was this? Miller can't do anything he wants. Dimitri Solita also has him by the short and curlies, juiced up or not. I think Solita's out of it now. He's been bought out.
No, Solita's in, and so is Greg Cohn. Top Rank took over the promotional, but they still have paper through Top Rank.
Oh.
So if they released them, the paper would go back to Cohn and Solita automatically if Top Rank released them.
Okay. I get that. So Solita still has a hand in the pie. What we got here? We got
the problem is Solita's not going to look to protect Jay Prince. So Top Rank may hang on to him to protect Jay Prince.
Okay, so T. White, the fight doctor in the building. Why does Devin Haney think that Bob Arum is a crook?
No idea. Didn't know he ever said that.
I didn't know he said that.
Mm-mm.
No. If you could not,
him and his father respect Bob Arum. They didn't sign him. They weren't that excited about him. Everybody else was excited. Eddie was excited about him, and they reached out to Eddie, and they made a deal with Eddie, a short-term deal, 4 or 5 fights. But I don't know. I never heard the Haney say one bad word about Bob Arum.
Okay. So we don't know nothing about that. T. White, if you could furnish us with a little bit more information, that would be appreciated. Okay, good question by Lisa Bayliss. How did you enjoy the fight last night? I heard somebody got their teeth knocked out.
Yeah, the guy that won got his teeth knocked out. That doesn't happen very often, does it?
How the hell do you get your teeth knocked out wearing a gum shield?
They were implants and the veneers. I think they called veneers, and they popped out. What do you think of them? I thought they were solid, world-class professional fights with no knockdowns, and it's tough to go through 4 fights and not see any knockdowns or any stoppages. But they were solid fights, but they weren't. I wouldn't call them exciting. The main event was pretty decent. Wasn't great. It was pretty decent. It was a solid show. That's all it was. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was solid.
Solid. If Miller was in the UK, he would be on a life ban. I don't know if
no, I don't agree with that because the people, England would be smart enough not to let him come over.
Well, we know that Dillian White got a 2-year ban for a energy drink. 2 years for an energy drink. And what do you think? That's a good question. What do you think will be the punishment for Miller? What do you think? What do you think? Just instinctively, what do you think?
Three things. I think he's going to get 2.5 years, if you ask me, of not a suspension, but at least a ban of 2.5 years. Maybe a suspension of 9 months or a year, but a ban of 2.5 months, 2.5 years where nobody uses them. Okay, he'll be blackballed. In other words, like when you look on there'll be a red flag on the computer on all the records about his problem. Nobody will use them. Okay, and I think that they'll be basically blackballed. Period. But he'll get like maybe a year's suspension. And I think that Nevada will never license him again.
No. Ever. Okay. Wow.
And I think he'll get a huge fine. I think the fine is going to be pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah. So damn, it's looking rough. It's looking very, very rough for Miller over there.
There's another issue. Reputation. What TV network's going to want to put him on? Who believes in the guy? What promoter's going to get behind this guy?
Breaking news. VADA reports that they have found traces of blood in Jarrell Miller's drug system.
Yeah. A guy called me up and said the same thing to me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That was a great line.
Yeah.
Do you realize Kuzma stopped Joyce in the first round in the amateurs? Right, Rick. But that was then. This is now. Kuzman is lazy. He's very lazy. I've seen him fight several times. He's lazy, and he doesn't fight with enthusiasm. He's very lethargic. Let's not confuse amateurs and professionals.
Okay. So what we got? Who do you think wins a fight between White and Povetkin?
I think White does now.
Yeah.
Povetkin's about 40 years old now. I mean, that was then. This is now. 5-6 years ago, I would have said Povetkin. Now I'm going to say White. White. Here's the good thing about White. When White fought on that show, when he was the filler on that show, and they put him in on short notice, and he beat somebody, he looked terrible because he didn't know he was going to be fighting. When he knows he's going to be fighting, he's going to be in shape, and he knows he's going to get challenged in this fight. In his mind, he's going to get challenged, so he's going to come in shape, and he'll do what he's got to do to win. I just see him winning. I don't think this is any different than a Joe Parker fight.
Yeah. That's what you're saying. Lisa Bailey says, I just saw Michael Hunter is leaving Matchroom.
Where's he going? I never heard that.
Where's he going? Is this new breaking news? Is this breaking news? Is this breaking news, Lisa? You're welcome, Raphael. Much appreciation, Lisa.
I don't know. Let me look here. Let me see if it's anywhere.
Yeah, have a quick look. Have a quick look as I scroll through.
I've never seen that. I don't think Michael Hunter's going back to friggin' Al Heyman. I hope he's got more brains than that. Okay, hold on 1 second. So let's see.
I think he should have more brains than that. If he's leaving Matchroom, I'll be curious. I'll be very, very curious to know where he intends to go. That'd have me curious. Rick, if Wilder loses to Fury again, if Wilder, well, I'll answer that question.
Here, Michael Hunter enters free agency as Matchroom Boxing opts not to renew contract. So they're cutting him loose.
Oh, they cut him loose. Matchroom cut Michael Hunter loose. What the hell's that all about? I don't get that move. I don't get
Nobody wants the guy. The guy can't draw 4 people. He can beat anybody on any given day. So if you got an attraction, why would you want to put him in with Michael Hunter? Nobody's ever coming to watch Michael Hunter fight. He can't draw any people, and nobody's. He's too dangerous of a guy to lose to it. The guy who can sell tickets.
Damn. So Michael Hunter is cut loose. Is cut loose by Matchroom. That's breaking news. We just heard that now. I'm very surprised. But just like Rick says, if you got a guy who could beat anybody on any given night, but he can't draw flies. So hold on a second though. Hold on. But can you not use such a character? Can you not use him? Is he not?
What? You got big attractions in Joshua White. Who else he's got a whole bunch of heavyweights that are attractions. What would you want him for? So they can beat one of your guys. What are you gonna do? You're gonna play. He doesn't draw any people on the zone. He doesn't draw any people on pay-per-view. What are you gonna do with him? So he's got a lousy style to watch. Is he a good fighter? Sure he is. Jimmy Young was a good fighter. He didn't have any fans.
Hold on though. But if he's with the opposition, if Michael Hunter is now with the opposition, then it could be possible that he could work his way into a position where he fights one of your guys, one of your big guys. Is it not? Is it not?
100%. That's why Vernon Forrest got signed by Main Events. They were afraid they were going to put somebody was going to put Vernon Forrest under Pernell Whitaker's ass.
Yeah.
So that's true. Okay, but Eddie doesn't think like that. That's not Eddie's style. So Eddie's not a Eddie's a great promoter. He's not in England, in the UK. He's not a boxing guy. Let me say this: he's not a boxing guy. Number one. And number two is he hasn't proven himself in America to be a great promoter yet.
Not sure why Hunter would leave Matchroom. He's had the best fights as a heavyweight in his career. And for those who say he's coming up from cruiser, Hunter has fought most of his career at heavyweight.
Eddie cut him loose.
Yeah.
So
Eddie cut him loose. Yeah.
Eddie didn't do the contract.
Damn. That's surprising news. Exclusive. Thank you for that, Lisa Bayliss, keeping us updated with the news that comes up after we have gone live. You can't ask for more than that. Much appreciation to Lisa Bayliss for that one. And where are we here? It's Lisa Bayliss. She said, I saw the headlines in a video. After this is over, I'll have to listen. You don't have to go over there and listen, Lisa. We've solved the riddle. Eddie Hearn has cut Michael Hunter loose for reasons we just mentioned. Rick says, well, if you can't draw flies, what you got him for? Me, I say, well, damn. I'm surprised Eddie Hearn didn't keep him around, so he's not available out there to be a spoiler for one of his guys, because allegedly, Rick Glaser, that's what Eddie Hearn did with old man Ortiz, with old Tease. Allegedly, Eddie Hearn kept him on the books for a while because he was a dangerous guy and he didn't want him getting in the way of his aspirations for his top guys. Allegedly. Do you think there's any validity to those claims, Rick Glaser?
Back then, I would say there is, but Joshua's got 3 belts, and somebody puts Hunter on Joshua. Okay, here's 1 belt for you. Goodbye. That solved that problem. So Eddie's in good control with Joshua, that situation.
Yeah. Okay, so Leighton Evelyn, Rick, what will happen if Amanda Serrano don't fight Katie Taylor next? Will Matchroom sue her? Well, let's look at the bigger picture. Rick, talk on this whole situation as a whole. The Serrano versus Taylor.
She signed the contract. It was before the COVID, and it was to fight in front of a big crowd. Now there's no people. Lou DiBello tried to cut her money to get him so he can make more money himself and rip his fighter off. As far as I can see, what I believe, I'm not sure, but that's what it sounds like. I'm not accusing Lou of doing anything dishonest because he normally does things that are so dishonest. So who knows? But I would definitely say that Eddie can sue as much as he wants, but we have different laws in America than we do in England. I will say that. And it would be tough for Eddie to win a lawsuit over Amanda Serrano here in America.
So what happens? As Serrano got to take it, I think
they'll come to an amicable conclusion once the crowds come back. I think they'll fight and she'll get big money, and then it'll be done. But I think she's going to wait till the crowds come back.
Well, apparently she don't have to wait, because apparently there was going to be a cut. Eddie was intending to he did float the idea of cutting the purses with a fight still going on, but apparently what's happened is Katie Taylor has made up the shortfall, or what was going to be the shortfall, out of her own purse. So as it stands today, it wasn't just the money. She wanted to fight in front of a crowd. She didn't want to fight in the studio. It wasn't just the money. She said, in one of the interviews I listened to, she said, this isn't just about money. I want to fight in front of a crowd. So we'll see.
Maybe they pay her even more. Maybe it's a way for her to extort more money right now. Who knows?
Okay, so where are we here? The prudent man. Big up to Rick, just enjoying the boxing knowledge. 100%. That's from the prudent man. Much appreciated. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. Okay, let us move on. It's because Bob Arum said Haney is a kid and ain't ready for Lomachenko. Oh, that might be
He's
some.
not. He's not. He doesn't punch hard enough to keep Lomachenko off of him. Teofimo punches hard enough. He's not. He's not. 100% now.
He's not what? He's not ready. He's not ready.
But that surely doesn't make Bob Arum a crook. I never heard that line about Bob from Devin Haney or his father.
I never heard that line.
You can say that or privately.
I never heard that line, to be honest with you, Mr. T. White. I've never heard that line. Maybe if you could post up the link in the permanent chat, I'll take a look at it. Nobody will see it because it'll go straight to the back room waiting for my approval, but post it up anyway. If I check it out and it's legit, I'll release it to the general populace. Okay, so that's what will happen to Spence when he fights. His teeth. No, they're waiting for Spence's teeth to heal up. They're waiting for it to heal up. Damn. That would be a rough scene. That would be a rough scene. Ask Rick what he thinks of Josh Taylor.
Excellent fighter. Excellent. He reminds me of Joe Calzaghe, a lot about like Joe Calzaghe. Excellent fighter.
Was Joe Calzaghe on Pedrick?
No. He was a health freak. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Because some people question his output. Some people question his incredible output. Rick, what's the story behind that?
He was just one of those freaks of nature. They come along occasionally. He was listen. I have nothing but respect for Joe Calzaghe as a fighter, as a human being. Everything about Joe Calzaghe he's a really cool guy. I had the pleasure of working with him when he fought Roy Jones. While I worked the show, I was the matchmaker for the show, as they called me, director of competition. It was a pleasure working with Joe. It was not a pleasure working with his late father, Enzo. That was a little rough. He pulled the guy off because the other guy was a couple pounds overweight. He wouldn't fight him. I mean, it was ridiculous. The other guy couldn't fight and couldn't punch, and I tried to explain it. He didn't want to give up a couple pounds. He said, "Okay, fine. Don't make sure he doesn't fight now." So that was that. So, but as far as Joe goes, voted for him for the Hall of Fame. He got in the first year. He has huge wins. Kessler, Lacey, Calzaghe, Hopkins, Byron Mitchell, 21 title defenses. It's great. 46-0. What can you say about him? It's great.
Joe Joyce better start throwing his jab now if he hopes to land on Dubois.
It's about right. Dubois is a big guy, and he's got such reach and range and stuff like that. He's gained every fight. He's gotten better, and he's gotten better with range in every fight. And I just think he's going to go to that next level. Yeah,
time to go to the next level. Philip Carl Roberts says, I thought Hunter would be good on an undercard in the US. Let's say Joshua undercard.
For what? By the time you pay him and you pay the opponent, you got like $300,000-$400,000 in a fight that won't sell one ticket.
Dang.
For what?
Yeah.
No, nobody's buying the zone because of him, and nobody's buying a ticket because of him. Anybody comes from Michael Hunter is going to want a free ticket. Relative. I've never heard of a Michael Hunter fan.
Well, guess what? You just for the first time heard from a Michael or a Hunter fan, because Aaron Daly is up in the building. Damn, breaking news indeed. I was a big Hunter fan too, so boom. Rick Glaser, meet the Hunter fan that you've never met until now.
Hunter fan, Aaron, my condolences. You're a Hunter fan.
I like Michael Hunter. His dad was a boxer too. Yes, yes, yes.
His father, the original bounty hunter. He was a crazy dude. The cops killed him.
What?
And yeah, the cops killed him on a rooftop in L.A. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! I never knew that.
Yep.
I never knew that. I had no idea. I've never heard that story before. Dang. Mm-hmm. The bounty hunter got took out by the cops in L.A. Jeez. OMG. What a way to go. What a way to go. What does this say? Is there another fighter who switches between normal stance and southpaw within rounds? Who's the other one? Is there another?
Marvelous Marvin Hagler did it. Terrence Crawford does it. There's a few of them. Not many.
Not many.
Hard.
Yeah. Does Fury do it sometimes?
He did it with Thomas Schwartz, I think, and I think
Otto Wallin. Yeah, did it with Otto Wallin.
I don't think he did it. I don't remember doing it with Wilder.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. This is a chat. Do you remember Fury doing it against Wilder? I don't think he did. I don't recall him doing it against Wilder. What's this here? I think Hunter beat Povetkin marginally in the first fight. Well, in their fight. No issues with the draw, though. But that was the best fight on the card that night. Yeah, over there in Doria.
That was a good fight because Povetkin made the fight because he presses and he comes forward and throws punches. The other guy's just trying to get away and make you look bad. So that's why it was a decent fight.
It was a decent fight. It was a decent fight. What does this say? Hunter's contract expired. I think they probably can't offer Hunter a decent deal during the pandemic. Maybe Hunter will get offered a new contract when the virus is sorted. Maybe and maybe not. So what's this guy? Bray says he's referring to a tweet. He's referring to a tweet. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Tank Nation is a new subscriber. Tank Nation joins the Raphie Dawkins Combat Nation. He's referring to a tweet Devon made about the purses for the TR Top Rank fighters.
I don't know what he's complaining about. Here's another guy not taking just like Ryan Garcia, not taking consideration, no fans, no sponsors, and approximately $240,000 a show for additional costs now, because every fighter needs their own hotel room. They can't double them up anymore, and because of the COVID testing procedures and protocols. These guys don't know business. Okay, that's why the prices are down.
Yeah. Haney's no catwalk. I can't wait to see him in there with the top dogs.
No, he's a good fighter. He beat Stuart Campbell tomorrow. So I mean, there's no question about that in my mind.
Yeah, 100. He beats who? Who beats who tomorrow?
He said he would beat Stuart Campbell.
Right. Tomorrow. Yeah, okay, that means he's ready.
Tomorrow, right now is tomorrow, the next day, twice on Sunday. The next expression. Easy.
Okay, so what's going on? What's going on there? Skipped a little bit. Rick, if Dubois wins against Joyce, who does he fight next? Because Hearn can't offer him anything.
If Dubois, he'll that's not even an issue. There's plenty of guys he can fight. There's a whole bunch of guys. Top Rank got a whole bunch. Remember, Frank Warren is Top Rank. Top Rank is Frank Warren. They're tied in together. That's why you got the ESPN Plus dates from Bob. That they got Fury and Wilder. They got Fury together.
I think he meant Warren. If Dubois wins against Joyce, who does he fight next? Because Warren can't offer him anything.
Top Rank's got a whole bunch of guys he can fight. A whole bunch of guys. So that's not true.
Top rank. Top rank has a. So what you're saying? You're saying that Warren has Warren has an arrangement with Aram. Warren and Aram.
They're tight. They drinking buddies. I mean, they're very close. So yeah, I mean, there's no issues there. I mean, Fury. Listen, they're both Hall of Fame promoters. They do business together. They got the TV. Bob gives them the TV. They got Fury together, and they got Carl Frampton, and Frampton and Frank Warren was supposed to promote his fight over there until the pandemic came along. So there's a relationship there. There's no problem getting fighters for Dubois. None at all. Zero.
No problem because of the relationship with Bob Arum. Heinrich Schmidt says Fury switched stance with Klitschko several times. Yeah, we're aware of that. The question was, did he switch stance against Wilder? That was the question.
I don't remember that he did.
No, neither do I. James, I think I'm going to put a cheeky tenner on Joe Joyce. You know, that fight, anybody could win that fight. I think Dubois is going to do it, but really, that's a find out fight. Really, that fight is about finding out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. We're going to find out in that Joyce fight. We're going to find out some things. Rick Glaser, that's a find out fight. We're going to find out.
Well said. Exactly. We're going to find out swiftly and quickly, as the expression goes.
100%. And DJ Georgie Porgy is up in the building. He's saying, show your support. Put your thumbs up. Thumbs up gang is in the building. Nice one, Georgie Porgy. As we move on. Terence Crawford switches stances effortlessly. What's going on with Terence Crawford?
I mentioned him.
Yeah. What's going on with Terence Crawford and Ugas?
Nothing yet. Nothing signed, no date, nothing. The Crawford wants to fight in front of people.
So, you know, there's speculation going on about that. Is he going to take the fight? Is he not? Hold on. Was there some speculation with Spence and Ugas?
Yeah, but Spence won't fight Ugas.
Why not?
He moves too much. We don't. Nobody knows what Spence has got left. That's a risky fight.
Yeah. Ugas would take it though.
Of course. He doesn't take anything. He's desperate for a big fight.
He is. We've seen his tweets of late. Midramidov switches from orthodox to southpaw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but he's not a top guy yet. But he does.
Yeah,
he's not a top guy.
Not yet. Ask Rick what type of conditioning he thinks is better. Old school runs, sparring, and bag work that the old timers would do, or the sports science used today. I think that's a good question.
I think that old school is better for the boxing part, but I think the fitness, the new era of fitness, is better for long term for a fighter to extend his career a longer amount of time.
Yeah, that's interesting. But is there anything better for conditioning than fighting a lot?
There's nothing that beats fighting, the actual experience of the headgear and the clubs. But also, if you fight too much, it wears you down. So you got to have a happy medium.
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Looking for that happy medium. Absolutement. Okay. Rick Glaser, if Dubois beats Joyce, where does he go next? Because I don't think Warren can offer him the next. Oh, we covered that. We kind of covered that.
It was the same question worded by somebody else.
Yeah,
he would go to Bob Arum. So that's like he did with Fury. Same thing. That's what he's going to do. He's Bob Arum.
Yeah. The next step effectively is Top Rank. We've seen those cross Atlantic matchups before, from going back in the day. I think Warren at one time hooked up with your fella there, with your man there, Don King. I remember that. Back in the days, a lot of people might not remember, but Warren actually did for a time have a hookup with Don King. Talk to us about that, Rick.
Yep, and it didn't end well. It ended in a lawsuit.
I know. That's unfortunate.
What can you say? Todd thought Frank screwed him. Frank thought Todd screwed him.
Yeah.
And Frank had to pay. But I like Frank. I think Frank's a cool guy. They don't get much cooler than Frank. I think Frank's a real good boxing guy. I think he's a great promoter. And he's a real complete promoter. He's a boxing guy and a promoter. He's a businessman. He gets it. No question about it. You don't stay on top of the game that many years. In this place, Mickey Duff and Jarvis Star over there, who's still alive in '96, by the way. Jarvis Star. And then he's warded off Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn tried to put him out of business. He's still going along. Everything's wonderful.
Still surviving. Is a survivor. Is that Brick Top? What do you mean? Don't forget, he survived an assassination attempt.
Yeah, Terry. Terry. Supposedly
the ex-Marine Terry Marsh had a grievance against old Brick Top. We affectionately call him Fish Eyes over here. And put a slug in him. Was it one or was it two? I don't know. I wasn't counting. Oops.
I heard it was more than one or two.
Damn.
Like somebody said about Terry Marsh. He may have been a pretty good fighter, but he was a bad shot.
Damn. Ex-Marine doing Queen in the country. No good whatsoever. We want to see his stats. We want to see his papers. We want to see his target papers. Okay, let us move swiftly on. Let's move quickly on. Pernell Whitaker was a switch hitter too. Talking about switch hitters, yeah.
He really wasn't a switch. He switched once in a blue moon for 5 seconds. That's not a switch. Guys that go through complete rounds are a switch hitter. That's not a switch hitter. It's just plain monkey. It's a stupid business.
Yeah, monkey business. I have seen a few switch hitters, but not all of them are successful. A real switch hitter has to be good at it. No point in changing stance and getting laid out. No, you don't want to do
that. Hagler is very good at it. Marvelous Myra Hagler is great at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably my second favorite. That's my second favorite boxer. I just liked his endurance. He one of my favorite animals is the mountain goat, just for their ability to endure, keep on going, and apply the pressure and come back. As we move swiftly on, what does this say? Just jumped on me a little bit there. Actually, let me switch over to my Twitter and see some of the things that I liked. Oh yeah, and as we were talking about, I forgot about that. As we were talking about the hand wraps with Wilder, we have to bear in mind the fact that that JD's was present for the hand wrapping. I remember I commented on this. He was present for the hand wrapping, so people can't say. I
said that. I said JD's was in the locker room. And I think Breland was in there too. I think both of them.
Damn. So how the hell could anybody complain if JD's was right there? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah. Don't make no sense. Leighton Evelyn, Rick, do you think they will have crowds this year? Because I wouldn't be going into a big crowd this year with what's been going on.
Let's hope by October that we get Joyce and Dubois, so we can get crowds in the UK. Because I don't know if that fight happens with no crowd. That's going to be a tough sell.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough with the Queensbury books. It's going to be tough to balance the Queensbury books with that fight without a crowd. So hopefully. But over in America, I hear they're opening things up and then shutting them back down again. Rick,
Yeah, certain parts of the country, Florida, Texas, and California, and Arizona. Where I am, and the rest of the country are all right. Just certain pockets. Houston area is bad. The Phoenix area is bad. LA area is bad. In southern, or around Orlando, Florida is real bad. Certain areas.
Certain areas. Certain areas. Okay, so Wilder has no legs stamina because he is too dumb lazy to do the road work, allegedly.
I never heard that. I mean, he doesn't have good, strong legs, and he doesn't have good stamina. But I never heard he doesn't do road work. That I didn't hear.
Yeah, I can verify that. I've heard him say it himself. He's not into the road work.
Well, he may not be, but he's still doing the road work. He's not. Maybe he's not running 3 miles. He's running 2. Maybe he's not running every day. He's running, like one day in the morning, and then 2 days, and then the next day at night, and then the next day he's doing it, and he's doing it at night. You know what I mean? Like rotating around, like getting 36 hours in between,
Yeah.
and not getting 24 hours in between, something like that. But he's doing road work, believe me.
Apparently it's very minimal. Apparently he wasn't even skipping for years. He only started skipping again for was it the second Fury fight? Yeah, the second Fury fight. That's when he started skipping again. So there's certain basic fundamentals which he simply has not been doing. We're coming up to the last tranche of the show. Does Rick think Spence will even fight again? You don't dive head first out of a speeding car into concrete for free.
It's a good question. He says he is. He hasn't sparred yet, but my saying applies here. It's a long way from the lip to the ring. Talk is cheap. We haven't seen him fight yet. We don't know what condition he's in as far as how much it affected him. We'll see. I don't see him as a top fighter anymore. I think that he's going to be a shell of his old self.
Damn.
I think he will fight, but I don't think he'll be what he was. Can't.
Wow.
He'll be 25, 30% less fighter.
Damn. Makes sense. It really does make sense. Maybe this COVID rest, maybe this COVID break has done him the world of good, Rick.
Jamal Harris tested. Is there going to be a title fight replacement on the card? I know they're not replacing a title fight, but they're moving his fight just a couple weeks. He'll be fighting again very shortly.
Yeah, fighting again very shortly. Yeah, it's not a death sentence, hopefully. Ask Rick why fighters like Mayweather and De La Hoya were able to make tons of money after leaving Bob Arum.
Because this is what people don't understand. He left Arum in 1994, in 2004. He'd already been a pro for 8 years. He was ready to take that next step. He just made a hit on pay-per-view with Gaddy. Everybody saw him fight, and it took off from there. And Arum's contract wasn't up. Arum got bought out, and everything was fine. And then he got bigger, and bigger. And then when he fought De La Hoya, then he got huge. So that was all a natural progression that was in the works. Fighting Gaddy next, which Arum did, and then going on from there. That's all that was. And as far as De La Hoya goes, of course they're going to make more. Of course he's going to make more money because De La Hoya was a mega pay-per-view star, and of course that he was keeping 100% of the profits. He didn't have to pay Bob 25% of the profits. So of course he's going to make more money. It's a natural. That's a no-brainer.
So does there come a point in a fighter's career where it's best that he becomes his own promoter?
Well, if he has somebody to run the promotional company and he's got people around it that are competent and that are honest and competent and can do the job, but Arum knows how to get that extra 8 to 10% more buys out of a pay-per-view show than the next guy does. And that's a proven fact. So if it does 800,000, the next guy would have done 720. Okay, and that you take that 80,000 homes, and let's say it's returning $40 a piece. That's $3.2 million right there. So You know, when I say returning the 40, you remember there's $40 million. Is if it's $80, you know, the promoter gets half. The other half goes to the distributors and the satellite and cable outlets. But also, Aram has a way of generating more foreign TV money than anybody. That's a fact. He's far superior in the foreign TV sales part than everybody else's. So he's got deals. He's got deals in Japan for his fights, and all over the world for his fights, everywhere. I mean, practically. So that tells you a lot right there. His foreign TV revenues dwarfs all the other boxing organizations. Eddie Hearn's probably second, and a distant second to Bob.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out to Leighton Everin coming through with the donations for the tin. Coming up with the donations for the tin. Big respect to Rick. His knowledge is amazing. Well, that's why we have him over here. That's why we don't just pull him up off the street.
I'm gonna tell you what Don King said once. I was sitting at a conference table with two lawyers, and I just settled a case that was going on for a long time for Don. It was a boxing deal. The two lawyers, the one that were sitting across from me, I finished it up, and one lawyer says, "Rick, I've never heard of you before today." He said, "This is what back in like 2007, 8, somewhere way back when."
Yeah.
And he said, "I've never heard of you before today." He says, "But I got a lot of respect for you." And Don was half asleep at the end of the conference table. He goes, "What do you think? I got him around here for his good looks and his table manners?"
OMG. OMG. Okay.
Thank you very much. Leighton can follow me on Twitter. Tell Leighton, follow me on Twitter at Real Rick Glaser 1. Glaser, Glaser, at Real Rick Glaser 1.
You want me? Oh, and for those who don't know, all of Rick Glaser's details are in the description box every week. So you got his Facebook details there, and you have his Twitter details there also.
Tweets 24, boxing tweets 24/7.
And I'll tell you why, Rick. I'll tell you why Leighton won't be following you on Twitter anytime soon. And that's because they kicked him off. They kicked him off, Rick. Said some things about Fury in strong terms, and they didn't like it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Leighton, but that's why they kicked you off of Twitter. I think that's the reason, Rick. I think that's the reason. And I don't know if you can see what I can see, but this really amused me, and it reminded me of big baby Gerald Miller. Reminded me of big baby Gerald Miller, all puffed up. Look at that, Rick.
Yeah, it's all puffy, but you know what? Good luck to him. Everybody wastes too much time on Jarrell Miller. He's going to be no longer licensed as a professional boxer. They're going to revoke his license. We won't have to worry about him no more. Let's talk about licensed fighters at all-time greats.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That's what we want to focus on. Although we've come to the end of another one, Rick. That's why I brought this up, for a little bit of comedy relief. If Jarrell Miller was a chicken, he would look a lot like this. We've come to the end of another one, Rick. We got through it.
Enjoyed it tremendously. Look forward to being on next week.
Absolutely.
Looking forward. By the way, just to let you know, Raph, I'm going to be able to be on every week for the foreseeable future, because I'm in the further discussion with my wife. She doesn't want me traveling until the COVID situation is completely straightened out. She's not looking to inherit my money quite yet. To make a long story short, I won't be traveling for a while, so I'll be able to be on your show every week. As far as I know, I can't see any reason why I wouldn't be.
There, you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Rick Glaser The series continues. And by the way, for those who don't know, this is our 12th week, which is the third month of Ask Rick. Consecutive
25% of a year, and I'm still waiting for the wire transfer.
Still waiting for the money transfer. So once we get up to 1 million in donations,
I didn't mention money you did. I said wire transfer.
Okay, Rick. Okay. As soon as we hit the 1 million mark, I'll be able to start breaking off something for Rick. Rick, I need to get that beachfront home in the Caribbean. I promised myself it. Rick, just bear with me, Rick. I'm just a few years away, and let's kill that. Let's get rid of the funky chicken.
You're a great host. Thank you again. I enjoy it tremendously. Boxing's my passion. Boxing's my life, my livelihood, and my hobby is talking boxing on social media, whether it's on your podcast, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, on some other shows that I'm a guest on here and there. I just enjoy it. It's my business. Thank you again.
100%. That's Rick Glaser, folks. Another week in the bag. I think this is our 12th week, and we continue. So ask Rick. Share the videos around. Retweet on Twitter and Facebook and all social media platforms. Rick Glaser's details are in the description box. And see you next week, Rick.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe. Bye-bye now.
Much appreciation goes out to Rick Glaser. We've got another one in the bag. Absolutely, we appreciate Rick's time. Red gloved militant re-emerged. He just swooshed into the room. Red gloved militant swooshed into the room with a cape and a fedora hat. Always well attired, so I am told. At least the chicken's got a nice one. Is that a little chicken coop? OMG. Okay, so they said that the Raphie, nobody knows the Raphie. You know what? But you know what? Considering that I'm unknown, we do quite well. We do quite well over here. We do quite well over here. The A-team when it comes to content. You got Batman and Robin over here. Of course I'm Batman. Of course I'm the Batman. Okay, it's been a pleasure to listen in. Oh yeah, and lest I forget, 6-time world champion. What do they call him? Mandias de Pedra, something like that, and it means little hands of stone. That's Michael Carbajal, 6-time world champion, will be with us tomorrow. Same time, 9 p.m. UK time, same place, right over here. Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio, Boxing Talk with Raphie, where we aim to bring you nothing but good quality and mirth. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with over here. Good quality content, good quality information, and of course, we like to have a laugh over here. Now, T. White doesn't like Aram, thinks he's a crook. Damn, drum roll. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to get out. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if the Raphie is live again within the next half an hour. Don't be surprised. Around 11:20. Do not be surprised. Man told me nobody knows you, Raphie. And it's not as even if I want to be famous. You know what I mean? It's not as even if I want to be famous, but to say nobody knows the Raphie, boy, you're a fool, boy. You're a fool, boy. What's going down? I keep on getting this fly and I want to kill it. I want to kill it. Let me get it, please, please, please. There's a fly in my home and I don't like it. Keep on spraying it with the antiseptic or whatever this thing's called. Or is it called? It's called Glow. It's called Glow. I hope it does some antibacterial shiznicks. Okay, so same time. Yeah, same time, same bat channel. Yeah, we're in the back. We're in the back. We're in the back cave. We're in the back cave. Peace out. Peace out to one and all. And yeah, I'll be back in around 20 minutes. So what time will that make it? I'll make it about 25 minutes past the hour. Because a couple of things probably want to touch on. Yeah, definitely want to touch on. So that is the Q Club. Yeah, the Q Club over here in Brum. Where's this damn thing? Gotta kill this fly. And then we're going live again. We're going live again. Flies' lives matter. Respect. See you in 20 minutes. And the only thing left for me to say is, oh yeah, and thank you for the donations. Leighton Evelyn, Lisa Bayliss, making the place look colorful, putting some color in the chat, and it is much appreciated. And how are we gonna go out? How are we gonna go out? I think I know how we're gonna go out, and this is a tribute to Big Belly Miller. And with that, what can one say? The only thing left for me to say is blessed.